We're talking about two things. We're talking first about the nominative case, and we're also going to talk about subject-verb agreement, which is the next thing in Chapter 2. Nominative case. In Chapter 1 we learned the forms for the nominative case, and we learned the translation of the nominative case, but now we're going to talk about the function of the nominative and what it does in the sentence. So the first thing that the nominative is used for is the subject of a sentence. Okay, and so here is an example of the nominative as the subject. Okay, so here's a very simple sentence in Latin, agricola laborat. And so this sentence would translate as the farmer works. Or, of course, we know that we could say the farmer is working or the farmer does work. Okay, so we can translate the verbs three different ways. Okay, but normally, what does this T mean? Right, this T means he, she, or it. But since we have a subject, a word that's in the nominative case, remember nominative ends in A for singular and AE, or we pronounce I, for plural. Okay, so if it is agricola, if we have a subject, then the he, she, or it is replaced by the meaning whatever that word is. Okay, so the farmer becomes the subject and replaces the he, she, or it. Okay, and when that happens, and if it's singular, which agricola is singular, and so is laborat, then it's going to be third person. Okay, so the farmer works. All right, let's try another sentence with a subject. Okay, so this time we're going to have huela curat. Okay, and so this sentence would be the girl cares, or the girl cares for, or the girl is caring for, the girl does care for, right? Okay, so puella is our subject, puella is nominative, and curat's our verb. Curat means he, she, or it cares for, but since we have a word that's nominative, we replace the he, she, or it with the subject, which is the girl. Okay, so those are two singular examples. So agricola is singular and puella is singular. Let's do a couple of plural examples now. Okay, so we had agricola laborat. Now we're going to change this to the plural. So agricolae, and since I have my subject, I changed that from nominative singular to nominative plural. Now I have to change my verb from third person singular to third person plural. So I had agricola laborat, that became agricolae laborant. Okay, still nominative, and it's still the subject of the sentence. Okay, and laborant is our verb. And we would translate this as the farmers work, or the farmers are working. Okay, so nominative case is used for the subject. It can be singular, or it can also be plural. If it's singular, then our verb is singular, and if it's plural, our verb is plural. And this is actually what we mean by subject-verb agreement. So if the subject is singular, like Agricola is singular, then the verb has to be singular. If the subject is plural, like Agricolae is plural, then our verb has to be plural. And they're just about almost always going to be third person. So we have third person singular, T, and third person plural, ent. Okay. So that's the first thing the nominative case is used for. The second thing the nominative case is used for is called a predicate nominative. And in English, English class, you probably learned this as a predicate noun. Okay, so predicate noun, predicate nominative, really the same thing. Okay, and in English, we would say something like, the girl is happy. Okay. Very happy, right? Yay, happy. Okay, so the girl is happy, and so happy would be a predicate nominative, and the girl would be the subject. So they would both actually be nominative in Latin. Okay, now how can we tell that we have a predicate nominative? How do we know that happy is a predicate nominative? Well, it has to do with is. And is what we call a linking verb. So if you have a linking verb, you're going to have a predicate nominative after it. And so in Latin, remember the linking verb, or is est. Okay, that's the meaning of is. Okay, and so let's do a sentence with est in it. Okay. So here's an example of a predicate nominative in Latin. Okay, Marcus is a name. It's a very common name in Roman times. There are lots of dudes named Marcus. So Marcus est nauta. Okay, and so this sentence would be Marcus is a sailor. Okay, and so in this sentence, Marcus is the subject, and nauta is the predicate nominative. Okay, and how do we know that nauta is the predicate nominative? Well, it comes in, first of all, it's in the nominative case, right, nauta, and it also comes in the predicate part of the sentence. In English class, you probably also learned that sentences are divided into two parts. There's the subject and the predicate, and everything that comes after the subject in the sentence is in the predicate part of the sentence. And so it's very simple. Nauta is in the predicate part of the sentence, and it's nominative, therefore it is a predicate nominative. And the other reason we know it's a predicate nominative is that it follows est, which is of course a linking verb. Ah, yes, linking verb. Okay, and let's do one more example of this. I want to do a plural example. Of course, in chapter 1 we learned that the plural of est is sunt, and sunt means are, or it can also mean there are. Okay, so here's an example of sunt as a predicate nominative, as introducing a predicate nominative, that is. Okay, so we'll use our friend Marcus again. So we'll say Marcus et, which means and, Publius. Publius is also another very common Latin name, first name for a boy. So Marcus et Publius sunt, and we will make them incolae. Okay, and so this sentence would read in Latin, Marcus and Publius are inhabitants. They're dudes who live in a place. Okay, so sunt is a linking verb, and so therefore incoli is a predicate nominative. It's in the nominative case, and it comes in the predicate part of the sentence. So Marcus and Publius, or Marcus et Publius, would be the subject, both of them. Okay, and so that's how we use the nominative case in Latin. We use it for the subject, and we also use it for the predicate nominative. So thanks for tuning in, and I will see you next time.